yesterday, Toyota dropped off this brand new Land Cruiser at our offices, and today we're here in Moab because we want to find out just how off-road worthy the new Land Cruiser is. And here's Nathan with a 30-year-old Land Cruiser. Why are you bringing a 30-year-old Land Cruiser to the party, Nathan?
Because the yardstick has arrived. This is the real Land Cruiser, according to many of our followers and viewers. This is the proper Land Cruiser, and that is a fat 4Runner.
All right, so in this video, we're going to take the old Land Cruiser and compare it to the new Land Cruiser. And we're going to do the usual, so we're going to take it up one tree hill, down frame bender, and then at the end, Nathan, we're going to try the hardest obstacle of them all, the wall.
Yeah! Ooh, I forgot about the, that was a mud flap.
Oh, pitch, mud flap, pitch. Oh! I hit the skid pad. One of the biggest differences between this new Land Cruiser and this old 1997 80 series is that this is a hybrid. So before we take on the wall and the rest of the obstacles here in Moab, let's find out what that means in terms of fuel economy on the way out here. Nathan, I got some bad news, but some good news for you.
All right.
The bad news is the new Land Cruiser only takes premium.
And why is that good news for me?
Because, you know, I don't want to switch pumps, so we'll put premium in the old Land Cruiser as well and hopefully give you a little bit of oomph going up, you know, mountain.
I wish you to observe the Land Cruiser at its favorite watering hole, as it partakes in fuel and sucks down so much that we will no longer be able to afford Roman's hair plugs.
Come look over here. Unleaded fuel only, which is, you know, normal.
Yeah,
but if you come over here,
you have to pop open the
I know, I got a popper open. Premium unleaded fuel only, and no diesel, Nathan. So, you know, I know you were thinking about...
There are diesel versions of this, even though I'm not allowed to apparently call the new one a Land Rover or a Land Cruiser.
Yes. All right, so $4 a gallon. Ooh. Gas is getting expensive. And for all you Californians, which Nathan will soon be one, that is a bargain.
Yeah, it's going to be about $1.50 more.
What is your guess that your classic 80 series is going to get?
Well, it's going to be a hard time getting over the hill.
Yep.
So I think that when we did our loop, it was like over 16, wasn't it? Or when you did it.
Yes.
It's not going to be that.
No.
No, it's going to be less. It's going to probably be like closer to 14.
So, 6 cylinders, 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
No turbo.
That's
turbo.
a hybrid.
Yeah. Hybrid, no hybrid.
This is absolutely the opposite of a hybrid.
All right, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Do you think that will get 10 mpg better than this?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it'll be really close.
Yeah.
I'm going to say just under that because you're going to hit the hill and you have a left foot.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's go off-roading, see how they do off-road, and then we'll come back when we're in Moab and find out if it's more or less than 10 mpg difference between the two.
Okay, fair enough.
And of course, we're using our 2-click method here. So we fill it up here, wait 30 seconds so that we can get more fuel into it, fill it up, and then we do some simple math and find out exactly what the MPG is. And by the way, this is something that Andre normally does. So James, I've got a task for you.
Yep.
Our friend James is here helping out.
Yeah.
We need to know exactly how many miles it is from here to Moab, to downtown Moab, so that we can do the math right. So here's the thing, right? There are 30 years separating these two cars, Nathan, and just a ton of technology.
Yeah.
And one of the things that your vehicle is not known for is power.
Not at all.
It's known for having incredibly long life. It's known for reliability, but it's not known for flying up mountains. So,
slowly flying up mountains.
Are you at all worried about slowly flying up the Eisenhower? You know, we're going from like 5,000 all the way up to 12,000.
Yeah, I know, and it's going to be a long slog, and it's going to be slow, and it's going to be painful. I mean, it is.
Well, the good news is your air conditioning works. let's face it, it's not fair to compare a brand new Land Cruiser to an 80 series that's 30 years old, at least not on road. So we're really not going to be comparing them on road, but we can compare them off road.
You call it a Land Cruiser because in the United States it might be, but it's not in the rest of the world. Essentially what people are saying is that you're driving the new 4Runner. So in that case, I can take you.
Yeah, you know, we did a couple videos with this Land Cruiser, and people were like, it's not a real Land Cruiser. And we know the new LX is a worldwide Land Cruiser, but we didn't name it, Toyota named it, and if Toyota calls it a Land Cruiser, it's a Land Cruiser.
But that doesn't mean it's the same as an L200 special, you know, backside one that we're doing.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, and I don't care what the others say, except for I enjoy insulting them. However, I will say this. It is the same damn thing as essentially a Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro or the Toyota 4Runner that's coming up with the hybrid powertrain. As such, I have the DNA to beat you at almost everything except for maybe acceleration, because I'm flat out right now and you're barely touching your accelerator.
Yeah, you're lucky because there's a box truck in front of me and I have to slow down because of traffic. But that was always the issue with those 80 series Land Cruisers. That straight six was magnificent until you got into the mountains, in which case it became very, very, very underpowered. All right, we're going to try to pass this box truck. If you can manage it, stay up with me. But I got to tell you, I love the power in this new Land Cruiser, and I love the suspension setup. You know, it's cushy. Who would have thunk they made a soft sprung Land Cruiser that's actually much cushier and much more forgiving and much more comfortable to drive than the outgoing one. You
got to go faster because I'm flat out.
Yeah, I also forgot that this has Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, so I tried to do you know, the lane tracing where it kept me in the lane because, well, that's what the new vehicles do. So some of the stuff in here I could live without.
Yes, I can live without momentum that you keep sapping from me by not accelerating fast enough. Are you sure that thing has enough power to stay ahead of me?
Alright, 3, 2, 1, bye.
He's still here. He's still here. Okay, he's not still here. Look, I'm battling it out with a Toyota Yaris on my left. I'm going to take him right now.
Yeah, that's about the right amount of... I bet you guys have very similar horsepower, given the fact that probably some of those horses in that old 80 series have left the barn.
Ba-boom! Bye-bye, sucker! Toyota Yaris has nothing on this.
All right, well, we shall now fast forward through this 300-plus mile drive to Moab and see how the two of these do when we actually take them off-road.
Hey!
Nathan, I've now put on a couple hundred miles on this Land Cruiser, and there are some things I like, and there are some things I don't like, but let me start with the things I don't like.
Does that have anything to do with hair product?
No. What it has to do with is the thing just incessantly beeps at you and keeps throwing up all kinds of stupid warnings. So right now my little screen says VTC turned off, pre-collision brake system unavailable, and that's because I put it into 4 low.
Yeah, electronic nannies are going to be the death of us, my friend.
I mean, it must be pleasant to be in a 30-year-old Land Cruiser that just beeps at you if the key is left in the ignition. That's about the only thing it does, or maybe if you don't have your seatbelts on.
Yes, but when you take your seatbelt off, it'll slowly beep, and then it'll start getting louder and louder, and then it'll start yelling at you. Then it's going to follow you home, and it's going to yell at you in your sleep. Toyota's gone way overboard with electronic nannies.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Plus, some things are, you know, so... Let's take a step back. There are 3 models of Land Cruiser. There's this base model, 1958 edition, which starts at around 55, and then you go up 10,000 and you go up to the Land Cruiser, which gets you sway bar disconnect, which I don't have, and then if you really want to go crazy and start competing with like the Lexus GX, you can go to the first edition, which is about 75,000. But I'm glad we're in the base model because this is the one you want to off-road.
Yeah, and should we start clarifying the differences between the Land Cruiser that is available for North America versus the Land Cruiser that's available for the rest of the world?
Yes, I agree, Nathan. The one that's available for the rest of the world we also get, but it's branded as a Lexus LX here. So when all of you people watching this in other places of the world want to comment that we don't know what a Land Cruiser is because it's not a Land Cruiser, I would say Toyota calls it a Land Cruiser, so we're calling it a Land Cruiser. Dropped off this tester with these rock rails, but ironically street tires. Those are about 31s. They're Geolander X/CVs, but if you look at the tread, you can tell that this is really not an off-road tire, but a street tire. Land Cruiser, street tire, go figure.
Granted, these are not the stock tires. It's not even the stock suspension. This thing has a 2-inch lift. These are Falcon Wild Peaks, and they are about 33s. And this is what you do for off-roading. Tires, 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 tires. Yes, ground clearance matters as well.
All right, so the tires and wheels might be wrong, but what's under the hood is not wrong. It's pretty right. In fact, this new 4-cylinder turbo, it's 2.4 liters, get this, puts out 326 horsepower and an incredible 465 pound-foot of torque, and that's because it's hybridized. So I have plenty of power and plenty of torque to put those street tires to use out here. And you know what? Street tires, wrong wheels, easy fix. Just, you know, upgrade them and you're gonna have a much better off-road beast than even that old rig that Nathan's driving.
Yeah, Roman's a lot of talk, but this has struts and that one doesn't. I wonder why, Toyota. And also, this is a 1FZFE powertrain, legendary 6-cylinder. It puts out a little over 200 horsepower. At least at sea level. So we are talking about a completely different setup here, right?
Yeah, it's legendary for being underpowered.
It is remarkably underpowered, and it's also extremely thirsty. But it is also known to run forever. People put 250,000 miles on the original engine without even, removing the valve cover gasket in some cases. That means that this will last a long time. It's very easy.
It has lasted a long time.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what, though?
Yeah.
You were talking about power.
Yeah.
I've got, solid front axle. You don't have that.
No.
No, you really don't.
I have independent.
So that means my articulation is going to absolutely kick your butt.
But I have 8 gears.
I have about half that.
Yeah, and about, let's face it, a lot of the horses have left the barn in this.
Yeah, I probably have half your horsepower too, most likely. But it doesn't matter because this engine won't last me forever. You and I will be in retirement homes, and Tommy will have grandchildren by the time this thing passes out.
Hey, so there are a couple of things that these two do have in common besides the name, which are things that I'm not happy about. But for instance, I don't have a front-facing camera. You don't have a front-facing camera.
Oh, poor boo-boo, you need a hug?
As you can tell by all the scratches in the slick rocks, this is the ass scratcher. In other words, it's a V-notch that tests approach and departure angle. So we'll see how good the new Land Cruiser is when it comes to some of the most critical off-roading.
That's the mud flap. Just so y'all know. No problem.
All that Nathan hit was the mud flap. So we'll see how we do in the new Land Cruiser. We haven't aired down much because quite frankly we need the extra height of the tires because this does not have as much ground clearance as Nathan's does by a long stretch of the imagination. So I'm a little worried now. I've already hit my mud flap. I'm gonna hit not just the front, luckily there is a skid plate, but also the ass end of the new Land Cruiser. So how am I doing? Am I gonna hit? All right, no hitting in the front. That sounds like metal, James. I think I hit the exhaust. Yeah.
Exhaust tip, yeah.
Yeah, I just ground down the exhaust tip. Maybe give it a nice baloney cut. That's fine. Nothing a small lift won't help. And by the way, I've heard through the grapevine you could put 33s on this new Land Cruiser, and that would probably solve that. The great thing about Onyx Off-Road is not only is it on my phone, but it also is on the screen at the Toyota using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And if I'm out of self-service, what I can do is I can download the maps to my phone, which then download to the Land Cruiser, so I always know where I'm going. And best of all, Onyx also rates the trail so that you know just how difficult things are going to get when you're here in Moab on fins and things. So there's a hard way and an easy way.
Hard.
Over the frame bender?
Yeah, this thing can take it.
All right.
This thing groans like... Hey, Roman! This thing groans just like you do. That noise is what you make when you get out of a chair.
3, 2, 1, you're right on it. Right on it. There you go.
Easy peasy.
That's 5.
So I'm going to turn a little bit, try to cheat the back a little bit.
3, 2, 1. Drop. A little bit of flaps.
Mud flaps don't count. Mud flaps don't count. Just so you know, yo.
That was impressive, and that is why that Land Cruiser earned the reputation that it could go across continents and then take your kids to school the next day. I'm about to go over frame bender, and you know what? I should do the hard area that Nathan, but this is not our car, and I figure there are other YouTube channels out there that specialize in braking stuff. I don't want to call Toyota and say,
Drop.
I broke your brand new Land Cruiser. There you go.
Slow. There you go. There you go.
A little bit of skidding with those street tires.
4 feet in the back. 3,
Oh, you know what, James?
yes, sir.
The little sensors are beeping. This thing just beeps all the time.
2, 1. Drop it back. Also,
Oh! Hitch, mud flaps, hitch. There are worse things. Like I said, there are better channels if you want to see stuff breaks on YouTube. We're really just, you know, trying to test to see what
hi there.
amount of off-road ability this has. Coming up next, One Tree Hill. Oh! I hit the skid pad. Tell me that was a skid plate, Cole. Thank you.
Two things. One, these tires, if you look at them, have taken a beating. This is why we were a little dumbfounded about the fact that they didn't give us off-road tires with beefier side walls that it had some grip. You can literally see where the rocks are like beating the crap out of it, but they've held so far.
Yeah.
But you know what happened?
Look.
You hit the hell out of your front skid plate,
yeah.
just off camera. So there is an issue about ground clearance, which isn't very much.
But you know what? You could put 33s on this.
Yeah.
And you could lift it.
You could do all those things, couldn't you?
Yeah. and
But you didn't, because that's not how people
But you know what? You know, certain cars kind of talk to you, and some say, I'm not happy here, put me back on the road. This one says, give me more. It keeps saying, and that's how I feel. I want to, you know, give it more.
All right, well, let's see what happens.
One Tree Hill.
Oh, yeah.
The best thing about this Land Cruiser is the fact that I've got these two buttons. Not only do I have a 4 high and a 4 low, and one more time. The best thing about this Land Cruiser is that it's in all-wheel drive all the time, and I think that's how they're going to try to distinguish it from the Foreigner that's coming. But I also have, of course, 4 high, 4 low, and then this center locker, and then this rear locker. And I think this missing button is the sway bar disconnect if we had the next model up, the Land Cruiser. So on this obstacle, I'm going to engage my rear locker, and you can see right there, it just turned on. And then you can see right there the super annoying messages that keep coming up. What I really want is that, which tells me how much of an angle I'm at. So Toyota just like, and it just keeps coming back. Stop it. Is it going to come back? I'm betting it's going to come back. Yep, it came back. And right now my rear locker is just blinking, so maybe I need to go just a little bit and have it actually engaged, because blinking does not mean it's engaged, it just means it's not engaged. Come on, engage. You know what? Maybe I have to be neutral. Let's try again. Off, neutral, blinking, engage. Dang you, engage. Yeah, it's just blinking at me. It just locked up. Wahoo! We're ready for One Tree Hill. While Nathan's going up One Tree Hill, let me give you kind of a synopsis of what I think about this Land Cruiser now that I've had a chance to actually spend some time behind the wheel. On-road, magnificent. I could daily this truck all day long. Very easy to use, very ergonomically correct controls, buttons, big shifter, just a super easy truck. Off-road, there are some problems with it. First and foremost, just way too many warning signs. Way too much beeping. Seatbelts off, it beeps. Leave the key in the car, it beeps. I have yet to figure out how you turn off the proximity sensors, it beeps. And then all these annoying warnings that just keep coming back, I feel like the engineers technically understood what makes a good vehicle off-road worthy, but didn't actually try it. Because if they had, they would have probably quickly gave it an off-road mode that disables all of this and lets you actually enjoy off-roading it as opposed to feeling like you're being nannied and nagged constantly. All right, here I go up One Tree Hill. And this is really a test of traction. The downside here is if you lose traction, it's easy to go sliding into a tree, and that will once again be a call to Toyota, which we don't want to make. So I'm hoping it'll just crawl right up, and I think it just will crawl right up. But the great thing about slick rock is it's only slick when it's icy. Otherwise, it's very, very non-slick. All right, here's what happens. The front wheel goes into this hole, front end loses traction, and this is where you have to have both wheels in the back pushing you through it. A little bit of slippage, nothing to talk about, and right through and right up One Tree Hill. No drama, no fuss. Good job, Toyota. And yes, I know the VSC turned off pre-collision brake system is unavailable. We only have two obstacles left, Chin Scratcher and the wall. But Chin Scratcher is fun because what you end up doing is kind of lawn darting the nose into the ground, and luckily the ground is sand, so it's kind of fun. And then of course the wall is a new obstacle that we added to our test regiment, because that is really hard and you need all the traction and all the ground clearance and all of the rock rails that you can use, and that's why I'm super happy to actually have rock rails, because we will hit those on the wall. But let's first do a little bit of chin scratching.
My brakes aren't as good as his, that's for damn sure. I think I just heard him scrape on a very small hill. I gotta be honest with you though, that thing's been performing really well. It doesn't even care. A little bit of skidding once again. Not ooh, I forgot about the that was a mud flap. That was not my that was my tow hitch. God, totally forgot about that.
All right, now chin scratcher, I'm going to use crawl control, which allows me to control the speed of the vehicle using this lift, using this handy dandy dial. And so right now I've got my foot off the brake, I've got it in the lowest setting, and the vehicle is doing all the braking, which is nice, and all the sliding. And I'm going to hit the chinny chin chin, as you can tell by the proximity sensors. It does beep a lot, doesn't it, James?
It does beep a lot.
Let me speed up a little bit here. It's kind of going stop start.
You're tilted at 35 degrees, so it's not the truck's fault.
Oh,
you didn't scrape in the back like, well, you didn't hit metal like he did.
I think I just hit mud flaps.
You have one of the longest scratches ever.
That was mud flaps, my man, mud flaps.
Roland, you have the longest scratch in Moab history going down that rock. In fact, it's tattooed Toyota was here.
That was all mud flaps, dude. Come on. Can't you tell the difference between mud flaps and, you know, the hitch?
Yes, I certainly can, and mud flaps don't spark. As good as your vehicle is, and so far it's been pretty impressive, it does have its limitations.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say, I am impressed by how much this thing wants to play, right? It's out here saying, give me more, give me more. I did use the crawl control going down chin scratcher, and it's got a handy dandy little knob that you turn that allows you to adjust the speed. It is a little herky-jerky though, so, you know, I've been using different versions of downhill descent control over the years, and at the end of the day, I still love using my brake.
Agreed and agreed. You know what? Even though the underside of that has a lot to do with the Tacoma, it looks like it's handling completely differently.
I agree. It'll be fun, you know, to do a comparison between this and the Tacoma. And speaking of which, Nathan, next week Andre is doing a towing test between this and the Tacoma.
Outstanding.
All right, so this is the wall. Somebody a side-by-side should have no issue, but in a car, truck, you really need lockers to get enough traction to go up and over the first part, and then you need enough ground clearance like he has to not high center it on that little bump. So I kind of feel like both these trucks are at a disadvantage because Nathan doesn't have lockers but has enough ground clearance. I have a rear locker but not enough ground clearance, so we'll see. It'll be interesting, but that's the wall. All right, good luck. Like I said, the issue here is you've got enough ground clearance,
Yeah.
but no lockers.
No locker, well, center locker.
I've got locker, but not enough ground clearance.
And you've got crap tires. I mean,
crap
they're
tires.
not off-road tires. Yeah, I'm gonna do this nice and gently.
All right.
I promise.
Go for it. Yeah, you sure you will?
Gentle didn't work. I thought the Falcons would work, but the Falcons didn't work either. Nothing worked.
You're good. They're going left.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do this without lockers.
I could try to go even faster.
No.
I could go faster.
No, don't go fast.
I could go really fast.
No, no.
Let me run up a little bit. Because the problem is that it's that one gouge right there.
Yeah, but that's not off-roading. That's something completely different.
Okay.
That's like going around a racetrack. When you go faster, stuff breaks.
I know. And you don't want me to break this.
Well, you know, by the way, we are going to be selling this.
Yeah, I know. If we weren't selling, then you let me go faster, right?
We are living on YouTube money, Nathan.
I know.
Not you know, whistling diesel money.
Okay, well, why don't you try yours
I'll try
then?
it, okay.
Okay, you try it.
Nathan, I was whinging and moaning about this thing on the trail, and then it went up the wall, and everything was right with the world. I am truly impressed.
It did remarkably well, considering the fact that it's on street tires. It absolutely ate up all the obstacles with electronics and with the proper locker. Man, the thing just did fantastic.
Yeah, but there's one more thing we have to let the folks know, and that is how well it did on the highway.
That's right, so let's see how it did with its MPG.
All right, Nathan, we tried to get all the way to Moab, but we didn't make it because that girl ran out of gas.
Not completely out of gas, and I blame the fact that aerodynamics, including all the bugs, for some reason I got a lot more bugs than you did. As such, my aerodynamics were hurt.
So the new Land Cruiser says that we went 243 miles,
Mine says 239 miles.
and Google says 241, so we'll go with that.
Okay.
All right, so it just clicked. Gas here is a little bit cheaper. It's $300.85.
Well, you got to pump now.
No, I'm pumping now. Second click. Okay, thank you for doing that. All right.
That's a long one.
All right, 10.252 gallons. Let's do the math here, huh? All right. Let's see what the fuel economy is. So, calculator, 241 divided by 10.252 equals 23.5 mpg.
So I need to do better.
You need to do
than
10
13.
better. Yeah, you need to do 10 better.
I need 13.2 2 more.
Yeah.
So no, I need 10 mpg.
Yeah, you do better than 13.5.
Yeah.
You think you did better than that?
Yeah.
All right,
Those
well-
bugs, dude. Those bugs slowed everything down. I'm talking about like pounds of weight. The aerodynamic profile of my vehicle has
Are
been
you saying
compromised.
you killed a lot of fat bugs?
They were big, chubby, fat bugs. They made me look skinny.
All right, well, let's fill up the Land Cruiser and see. Now, Nathan, some might say that 23.5 mpg for the new hybrid isn't grand.
But we just went up and over the gauntlet going in reverse.
And Vale Pass.
And Vale Pass, and you weren't going slow. So I'd say all of that really does work together.
Yeah. So, but it did, I think it officially is supposed to get like
25.
On the highway, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty close.
It's pretty close. I think
considering the mountain
yeah.
driving, I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, and these are both big vehicles.
Yes.
So the number you should be watching is this fuel gallons, because I put about 10 gallons.
Right.
So once we start getting past 10, you should start worrying.
I'm already worried about this thing is going to... I blame the bugs. I blame the bugs entirely.
I
And
blame the
also,
big fat tires.
You have really big tires and also a really big fat driver. And, you know, these things happen, and it causes a vehicle to be less efficient. And,
But
yeah, huh?
it's still badass.
It's still really badass.
Yeah, it is. I saw it in my rearview mirror and I was like, that is a cool
It's
looking
cool
truck.
looking, yeah. So it's the aesthetics, really. So the point is that why not just put a 4-cylinder engine in this thing and only power the front wheels, and yet it still look badass and you get better mileage and never go off-road, which is essentially what most of them do. Yes, I said that. Yes.
You are just asking for comments,
Well,
Nathan.
because these guys are, oh God, stop. That's not going to stop. And we stopped the 30-second thing after that. Come on, Roman, you know, like...
So if you get to 15, you'll be 50% more gas than
Yes.
me. And it's still going.
That's still good.
So for all of you math whizzes out there, you can start
This
thinking
thing
about...
is seriously just
I mean,
lapping it up. This is a cow in the fields eating the hay.
Let's face it, the 80 Series Land Cruiser was cool, but it was big, it was heavy, and it is thirsty.
We might actually...
Oh, there we go. Let's wait 30 seconds.
Yes. For those of you who are curious, if you're wondering if I started a stopwatch, I just use this, and I use that hand. So if I'm a couple
Oh, God.
seconds...
You're going to get so many trolls now.
I know, because I'm not using an actual stopwatch.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. But you really don't care, because many of you don't off-road these things. In fact, I say some of you don't off-road at all. Whoa, I said it.
30?
5 more seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, there goes.
Oh, this isn't good.
16.
Oh, boy.
All right, I'm going to put every last drop in there because, you know, that's what we do as men.
It's precious. Every drop is precious.
Of course it is.
So here's the thing. You got 23 point something mpg?
23.5.
So I need to get 13.5 or better.
Yeah, so 23.507 if we're being precise, okay? So 239 divided by 16.046. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you beat
I
the 10!
did it!
14.89.
Wait, how many miles was that again that we did?
239.
Is it 239 or is it 241?
That's what yours said.
Oh, that's what yours said.
All right, yours said 243. So we took the number in between. Anyway, still a pretty abysmal number. So over the course of 30 years, right, Land Cruisers have gotten, what, 50% better? Ish.
Yes, but there's more. I predicted this early on. When we were first at the pump, you asked me, and I said it's going to get around 14 miles per gallon. Do I know this vehicle or not? Maybe I should take this home instead of the Ford. No, kidding, I can't afford it.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. This has certainly been a hoot. And now for all of you who are wondering just how fuel efficient the new Land Cruiser is, it's okay,
It's
but
close.
it's a rock star when compared to the one from 30 years ago.
Oh, he said it. He didn't call it a 4Runner that's larger or whatever you guys are yelling about.
See you next time. Ciao.